Hi friends, welcome to another Sunday with Sarah. Happy autumn. I'm Sarah Baldwin and today I've got another craft tutorial for you. Many Waldorf schools around the world celebrate the festival of Martinmas. What is Martinmas? It was a European festival that centers around the story of Saint Martin, who was a Roman soldier who, when traveling by horseback, found a poor beggar out in the cold who had no coat. And so Saint Martin cut his cloak in half with a sword and gave half of it to the beggar. But it's also it's celebrated on November 11th every year. And it's a time of year that marks the end of the fall harvest before the winter, when the days are getting noticeably shorter and colder, and we're preparing for the snow here in the Northern Hemisphere in colder climates. So many Waldorf schools have made it a tradition to have a lantern walk to celebrate this time of year, the turning of the year. And the lantern walk is traditionally held in the evening, very quietly, parents and teachers and children together, walking outdoors in the dusk at night with their lanterns and with candles inside, and singing songs very quietly before they quietly return home. So in a lot of different Waldorf teachers have made different kinds of lanterns with children preparing for this festival. We usually make them in the classroom. And today I'm going to show you how to make a really simple lantern just using a glass jar like this. We're going to cover it in tissue paper and use a finger knit yarn to make a handle. It's really simple. So let's get started. Let's go over what you'll need for this project. You'll want a supply of tissue paper. Now, I apologize. Normally, I would use fall colors. I would use red and orange and yellow for the fall. Unfortunately, my supply of tissue paper was limited today, so these are not the optimal colors that I would use at this time of year, but you, of course, are free to use any colors you like or whatever your child's favorite colors are. You'll need a glass jar, preferably one with a wide mouth like this, because we're going to have to put our hand in to put a candle in at the end. This is a mason jar. It can really be, it can be a little smaller. You could use, just clean out an old jar that you've used. And when we're finished, we're going to, as I mentioned, use make a handle out of that we've finger knit from yarn. Now, I've done a separate video on how to finger knit, so if you've never done this before, I'll put a link to the video so you know how simple it is to knit a chain like this with your fingers. This is our bulky rainbow yarn from Bella Luna Toys, which I like because it's thicker and sturdier to make a handle. It also knits up very quickly. You're going to need glue. This is Ucky glue, which we also sell at Bella Luna Toys, which I'm going to dilute with water. A lot of people like to use Mod Podge, which is often used for decoupage and is available commonly in craft stores or online. This works just as well. You can also use Elmer's glue and dilute that with water. I like Ucky glue because it's clear. And so I've got a little bit of water here for diluting. I'm going to show you in a moment how we tear up the tissue paper. You're going to need a brush to affix the tissue paper to the jar with the glue. You can either use a little chip paintbrush like this, or I'm going to use today a little foam applicator like this, again available at any craft store. And finally, when we're all done, we're going to put our votive candle inside, or a tea light candle, and I'm just going to affix it with some masking tape. So we're going to start with our tissue paper. Some people like to cut them into squares. Personally, I like to tear them. The children can help You can do this project with a child. Children can help tear them. I find the shapes are a little more interesting, a little more organic than neatly cut squares, but you could do it whichever way you like. And you want to tear the pieces that aren't too small. The smaller they are, the harder it will be to stick them to your glass jar, and the more time it will take. So I like sizes about like that. And then I just, as you can see, I've just put my torn pieces all in a bowl here until I've got a big bowl full, and we're ready to go. Next, I'm going to dilute the glue. In fact, I'm just going to unscrew this, and we're going to do about half and half water, half glue. You can see the Aki glue is very clear, so I like it for that reason. You know, maybe a little, I would say a little less, maybe not half and half, maybe 2 parts glue to 1 part water, and mix it up. I've even heard of people doing this with egg white. You can experiment. And then this is so easy. You probably want to put newspaper down if you're working with children on your table before starting. The tissue paper, if the wet tissue paper, if it gets on wood, will stain. And we just put some glue on a section there. And it's nice when the pieces overlap. It can make secondary colors that shine through. So you can put a piece on and then just smooth it out with your brush. Really could not be simpler. And if you find that say this yellow is too pale, you can just go ahead and put another piece over to intensify it. And I'm just going to continue like this for a few minutes, and I'll be back with you when my jar is covered and we're ready for the next step. Okay, now I've covered my jar with tissue paper. I've found it's more interesting the more layers you put on. However, you want to be aware the more layers you put on, the more opaque your lantern might be and the less light might shine through. But normally I would let this dry overnight before I put the handle on, but for the sake of the video, we'll just go ahead and attach the handle now. So you take your finger knit piece of yarn, and I'm going to fit it around the rim of the jar. And tie it by knotting it here pretty tightly. You don't want, pretty tightly. You do not want the handle to fall off while your child is carrying a lantern with a lit candle. Now, you may be in a school that doesn't allow lit candles, or you may be concerned about safety. You could put one of those little battery-operated votive candles inside, like you see at a lot of restaurants now, to be safe. But in all my years teaching in a Waldorf school, we used real candles and without incident. If just be careful, and must always use adult supervision when children are dealing with lit candles. And then you want to just find the right length. You want the hand to be far enough away from the candle so it doesn't get hot. So about like that. I am going to just cut it about here. And find enough of a tail here. You make a tail and then pull it tight so I can thread that through on the opposite side. Like so. You want to make sure it's really opposite the other side of the handle so that it's balanced when you hold it. And I'm going to tie it very securely, double knotting it here. Like so, there we go. And the final step, we're going to take our little tea light candle. I'm going to take a piece of masking tape. Messed up the end of it there. And then double back it on itself like so to create a double-sided masking tape. Stick it to the bottom of the tea light. I want to make sure your wick is standing straight up. And there you go. Your lantern is ready for the lantern walk and ready to be lit. So I'm going to wait until dusk and we'll resume this video so you can see what my lantern looks like lit up at night. So it's evening now. I've got the lights turned down lower, so hopefully you can see how pretty the lantern looks when it's all lit up. To light it, you might want to make sure you have long stick matches that will reach down into the jar, or one of those long grill lighters. And to finish, I just thought I would end singing my favorite lantern song, which I've shared before on my Autumn Songs video, but it goes like this. I go with my bright little lantern, my lantern is going with me. In heaven the stars will be shining, on earth shines my lantern for me. The lights grow dim as we go in, la bimba la bamba la boom. The lights grow dim as we go in, la bimba la bamba la boom. So thanks for joining me today. I hope that gives you an idea of a simple lantern you can make, whether your child is part of a school, a Waldorf school, and can and does a lantern walk with other children, or you can have a family lantern walk or have a few friends join you. So happy autumn, happy lantern making. I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to see more Sunday with Sarah videos, be sure to subscribe to the Sunday with Sarah YouTube channel and click the little notification bell to be notified every time we publish a new video. As always, I really appreciate hearing from you. Leave a comment below the video, or you can email me at sundaywithsarah@bellalunatoys.com, and I love hearing your questions and answering them, and maybe I'll answer yours in a future video. See you next Sunday.